We begin with breaking news in the case of murdered Detroit teen Neziah Harris. Her accused killer, Jarvis Butts, has pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and criminal sexual conduct in 5 other cases. Good evening, everybody. I'm Rupraj. Butts' guilty plea comes just days before his trial was set to start. Let's get live to Fox News' Ingrid Kelly. She's in Detroit with more on his sentencing agreement. Ingrid.
Well, good evening, Roop. You know, Butts actually entered that plea at 3rd Circuit Court. But, you know, the question still remains, where is Neziah's body?
This is the culmination of perhaps a proper decision on his part.
Jarvis Butts, the man charged in connection to the death and sexual assault of 13-year-old Neziah Harris, pleaded guilty to murder and a number of sexual assault counts during a pretrial hearing. Here's legal expert attorney Todd Perkins, who is not affiliated with this case.
Wayne County Prosecutor's Office is the Office of Community Prosecution. They wrap their arms around families before they would make an offer in this type of case, and I'm sure they did that in this case.
It's alleged Butts developed a relationship with the teen. Last year, Butts was bound over for trial in connection to Neziah's disappearance. She was last seen getting off a school bus on January 9th, 2024 in Detroit.
It brings closure to the family, and I believe the family got something out of this in the sense that they had this great traumatic loss, but they have someone who makes a statement and also gives information to the prosecutor's office and law enforcement to bring that closure about.
Yeah. Back out here live, you know, Attorney Perkins, he actually spoke to us earlier today at Fox 2 Detroit Live. Now, back to Butts, he is set to be sentenced next month, and it's expected that he will spend decades in prison. Roop, back to you.
Yeah, Ingrid.
Decades, good. 13 years old, sexually. Some sick people in this world.
But you know, you talk a little bit about if this was to move forward with all of the court proceedings, how painful this testimony has been already for family members and how gruesome some of the details are and have been. It is at least a little solace that they don't have to be drugged through something like that.
It really is, but you know what, I will say, you know, this became like a case for all of society. I mean, everyone felt this family's pain, and I think many people are still asking, where is this child's body? Now, I did reach out to the prosecutor's office to find out, as a part of this, you know, plea, if, you know, Butts will have to say where the body is. So we're still waiting on a response, but I think that is the question everyone really wants to know. That will bring some justice, because at least that way they can actually lay this child to rest properly. Back to you.
Now, I hope the prosecution didn't do something as stupid as agreeing to a plea deal without an assurance that he would lead them to the body. But let's go over into this next video, where it seems like the family saying it's not enough. Let's get into it.
First at 11, a legal battle many feared would never end is closing with a guilty plea in the murder of 13-year-old Neziah Harris. From the day she went missing to this moment of accountability, we have stayed with this story to see a form of justice through. Good evening, I'm Mike Duffy. Jarvis Butts admitted to killing the young girl while also pleading guilty to the sexual assault of 5 other victims. For Neziah's family, it's the end of an agonizing nightmare that began when she vanished in Detroit 2 years ago. But they're still searching for a deeper sense of peace. 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham has been covering this story from the beginning. Tonight, he spoke with Neziah's relatives about this sudden turn in the case.
Even with a confession in hand from Jarvis Butts, Neziah Harris's family tells me they are not done fighting. They are now calling for a deeper investigation into those who they believe paved the way for this tragedy.
Knowing something, feeling something, and then having something confirmed, it's a different type of pain.
At a minimum, Jarvis Butts must serve 35 years in prison after pleading guilty to the murder of 13-year-old Neziah Harris. Investigators believe he killed her to cover his tracks after impregnating her. As part of a plea deal, Butts also pleaded guilty to 5 other cases of rape and molestation.
He will serve that 60 years if we have anything to do with it. He would die in prison.
Neziah's aunt says she wanted to see a life sentence, but believes getting him off the streets is a win for his other young victims currently grappling with trauma. However, the family's focus is now shifting toward accountability for those who failed to protect the 13-year-old.
Jarvis was not the only person at fault. She would have never been able to be in his hands if she had never been neglected or endangered. The signs were there, the warnings were there, the complaints were there. CPS has the complaints, Detroit Police Department has the complaints.
CPS has acknowledged that prior complaints were submitted. Detroit police also admitted to 7 News Detroit that the department failed to investigate a 2022 claim that Butts had touched Neziah inappropriately.
The people who were responsible for Neziah lied. They need to be held responsible just as much as Jarvis is for being held responsible.
100%.
We have other children who may possibly go back into the hands of these people.
While Butts has confessed, Neziah's body has still not been recovered. We spoke with legal expert Todd Perkins about the details of the plea deal.
My understanding is that in order to be able to take advantage of this plea, that information had to already have been provided.
Perkins offered a word of encouragement to the family as they continue to push for systemic changes.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil. Don't stop. I think about those mothers who have lost kids and have, no one's done anything about it, but they just don't, and they don't stop, and they don't stop, and something breaks.
Thank you so much. We don't plan on stopping. We're going to keep on moving forward.
But sentencing is scheduled to take place March 12th. Reporting outside the Wayne County Criminal Justice Center, Darren Cunningham, 7 News Detroit.
This is a crazy story. So he has 5 other victims? We got to do it. We're going to have to, of course, go to the AI breakdown, but he's got 5 other victims. And they're saying that most likely he killed her because he wanted to hide him getting a 13-year-old pregnant. I've said this plenty of times. There are monsters in this world. And he definitely needs to stay in jail for life. But he's got 35 years. Hopefully other victims come forward and he can spend the rest of his life in jail. This is crazy. Let's go over to the AI breakdown just so we can see if we can learn anything else from this horrible situation. So as we know, on February 12th, Butts, 43, pleads guilty to second-degree murder and multiple counts of criminal sexual conduct in the death of 13-year-old Neziah Harris. So Butts agreed to a prison sentence of 35 to 60 years. He pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, 4 counts of second-degree criminal sexual assault, and 1 count of third-degree criminal sexual assault involving 5 other girls, ages 4 to 30. They should have, that plea deal's too light. 4 to 13? In exchange for the plea deal, original charges included first-degree premeditated murder and child sexual abuse activity were dismissed. So, Neziah was last seen getting off the school bus in Detroit on January 9th, 2024. Prosecutors believe Butts, who was dating the teen's aunt, killed her after discovering that she was pregnant with his child. So he was dating the aunt at the time. And that's how he got access. Search history shows Butts looked up ways to induce an abortion, including using antifreeze. Her clothing was later found in the Rogue River near 7 Mile Road in Berg, where cell phone data had placed Butts shortly after her disappearance. And then he is scheduled to be sentenced March 12, 2026. This is a sick freak. Come on now. What? They give him 35 to 60 years, and he assaulted girls ages 4 to 13. 4 to 13. He needs to spend the rest of his life in jail. Simple as that. He needs to. But will he? Most likely not. This is a crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on this situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Is that 35 years, 35 to 60 years enough for him? He's 40. How old is he? 43. So at 35 years, he'll be 70, 78. He needs to die in prison. We got to be honest. We just got to say how it is. He needs to die in prison. This is crazy, y'all. But let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. We're going to pivot over into the next topic we're going to go over to. And it's a wild one, y'all. It's a wild one. And it makes me sometimes lose faith in the